In this series I'm gonna go from rank 0 to 100, but for every gun that I unlock I have to use that for the entire rank. As the series progresses, it's gonna become harder and harder to level up, and some ranks have incredibly horrid guns that I will have to use for a painful amount of time. So welcome to episode 2 of going from rank 0 to 100. This episode is gonna contain a lot of new and interesting weapons, and it's also the first episode where I'm getting vote kicked. In the last episode we left off at rank 20, where we unlocked the AUG A1, which is the first gun I'm gonna show today. And the AUG A1 was honestly fine to use overall. It wasn't anything spectacular or extravagant or anything over the top, it just worked overall. If you didn't know, the AUG A1 can 4-hit kill limb up to 180 studs, and with the correct setup it has minimal recoil. Though this early in the ranks I can't really get a lot of setups, but later on in this video I am actually gonna start using a lot of setup. For the most part I only used like a suppressor or Z point on the AUG A1, because sure, the starter sight is extremely nice on the AUG A1, but most of the time I want something lower magnification because it fits my playstyle better. Right after the AUG A1 we got the BEOWULF ECR and Glock 21, and in the last episode where I unlocked the SKS and M21, the secondary isn't really required to be used unless it's the only gun unlocked. So I didn't really use the G21 a lot, so I don't really have anything to say about it, but the BEOWULF ECR worked extremely well. I mean, what can I say? It's a 2-hit kill at 780 RPM, and sure, it has 10 bullets, so you have to use it in a specific sort of playstyle, but if you actually get that down, it is extremely potent in CQC. And sure, it's not like it was before where you could 2-hit kill up to like 100 studs, but it's still insta kills in close quarters, which is really nice when using this weapon. And right after the BEOWULF ECR we got one of my highest kill weapons ever, the M16A4. And similar to the M4, this gun is not near the power it used to be a few years ago, because it can't auto burst anymore or hyper burst or whatever you want to say, where you can spam click and it's basically an automatic weapon, but that doesn't necessarily make it bad. The M16A4 right now is actually one of the best assault rifles in the game. It has pretty fast reload, can 3-hit kill pretty far, and if you get down the burst, it is so accurate that it's not even funny. It's genuinely unfair sometimes. Though I couldn't get enough kills to unlock something like Sharp or whatever like that, but I had a really good time using this, only with like a sight and a suppressor. It worked really well. Next up we have the MAC-10 and the G23. The MAC-10 worked really well, because it's genuinely one of those weapons that don't really need attachments. I don't know if you played like in 2017, 2018, where you literally couldn't put a grip on the MAC-10, so the only thing you could do is put like a compensator or muzzle brake or like a suppressor. I personally used the ARS suppressor back in the day, and it's just one of those weapons that do really work without attachments. You can literally just put up suppressor and a laser on a MAC-10 and you're just gonna insta-kill people in close quarters, because it's not like the gun needs to be accurate at all, because it just shoots so fast, you know, and it's a close quarters weapon. You're not really supposed to use it at long range or mid range, because it's just not gonna work unless you're using one of those new weird setups that are weirdly accurate for some reason, but we don't talk about that. But overall, the MAC-10, even though it doesn't reload that fast for an SMG, extremely good. Oh, and for the G23, I don't know, I kind of use it like an ammo box, if anything. I don't know, it's just another Glock. And after the MAC-10 and G23 we have another double gun unlock. At rank 24 we got the P90 and the DBV12. And this is a special case that we get 2 primaries in one rank, so I decided to use half the XP on the P90 and half the XP on the DBV. And honestly, both of these guns are incredible, but we're gonna start with the P90. And honestly, the P90 is one of the best SMGs in the game in my opinion. It has 50 bullets in a magazine, 2 studs of penetration, has incredibly fast reload for having 50 bullets, and is very accurate. Sure, its damage is just a little bit low, but it can still 4-hit kill and 7-hit kill at range, so overall, you can't really do bad with it. And especially if you're playing on maps like Warehouse or Desert, that wall penetration really comes in clutch sometimes. So this gun was amazing to use even without any attachments, and overall really fun. Next up we have the DBV-12, which might be the best shotgun in the game, if not just slightly behind the Saiga. And this thing is just unfair. Sure, I didn't have birdshot unlocked, and the most I could do is just like put a suppressor on it, but it's a shotgun and it's semi-automatic and it has a magazine. So all you gotta do is just run around like an idiot and you're just gonna win. It's a shotgun. Like you can't really go wrong with this weapon because it's just so damn good. It's kind of crazy what it does. And for the most part, rank 24 was one of the easiest ranks I've ever done because both of these weapons are so good at getting so many kills at the same time. And next up at rank 25, we got the G36, which is a shell of its former self. And at these ranks, I'm actually able to get enough kills for an angle grip and an ARS suppressor sometimes, and I can actually use them for a fair amount of time. So that's gonna make stuff way easier overall. But regarding the G46 being a shell of its former self, back in around 2018, 2019, it was one of the best assault rifles in the game, maybe even one of the best guns in the game. It had extremely low recoil, could forward kill all ranges during that one rework, but during its peak it couldn't forward kill. It's weird to talk about, but right now it has this new weird recoil. While it isn't bad per se, it's not near what it was before. But overall, the G46 wasn't that bad to use. It worked pretty well, and eventually I could get an angle grip and a compensator, and if I laid down, it was extremely accurate, so I didn't really have a problem using this gun. I mean, it is just an assault rifle, so you can't really go bad with it. And at rank 26, we have the M93R, which is also a shell of a weapon. Kinda crazy, right? I got a comment the other day that I should use the M93R in a video, and he said that it's just as good as it used to be. 100 HP. Alright, I messed up the burst first time, but let's see this. Right. It isn't. It just isn't. Old M93R was sort of like the old M16A4, if that sort of makes sense. It's way harder to burst now. You can't auto or hyper burst it, and the burst is very violent on the 93R. But overall, it works. It is a secondary in the end, so it's not supposed to be this fully automatic 1100 RPM assault rifle in your pocket. You know, now it genuinely works like a panicked secondary that you're supposed to pull out in close quarters and hit a few shots with and get that kill. Saying that it's as good as it was before is kind of, you're missing the plot. All right, it's really not. But it's sort of okay. I liked it. It was kind of fun to use, even for getting up here in the ranks, you know? Wow, isn't it crazy? At rank 27, we have another shell of a weapon, the AUG HBAR. Granted, the AUG HBAR is still extremely good, but compared to the old HBAR, the old HBAR compared to the new HBAR is like a lion versus a cat, you know? Like, the current HBAR is still pretty good, but the old HBAR was just something else. I don't know if any of you guys watching this video played back in the day in like 2017. You just knew how OP the old HBAR was. But overall, this gun was really fun to use. This gun has pretty good damage, still pretty good recoil, and a lot of bullets, and has a lot of reserve ammo, and can pick up ammo from assault rifles. So overall, this is extremely easy and nice to use, and I didn't really have a problem with it, even if it's a shell of a gun. It's not really a shell of a gun, it's still pretty good. And at rank 28, we unlock two weapons, the M16A1 and the L22, both being very good, but one being way better than the other in my opinion, starting with the M16A1. I thought that you needed hyper-specific attachment for this gun to even work slightly well, but I was running around with a Z-point and a suppressor, and I was absolutely decimating. And with its extremely fast reload and extremely high RPM and really good damage, it works so well. And I kind of opened my eyes a little bit when it comes to this weapon, because everyone is about the M16A3 or like the RPK-74 or the C7, but the M16A1 really has it out there. It is really, really good. Though I guess the 20 bullets and extremely high RPM can throw off people sometimes, but overall I had an incredible time with this weapon. Then we also had the L22, and this gun was surprisingly good. When using this even without attachments, it worked okay, but when I put on a Z-point, my entire world changed. This thing was so nice to use. It has such low recoil, and all you need to kill at range with 4 hits is 1 headshot, because it has 24 minimum damage, which is extremely nice. Like, sure, its ranges itself aren't that good. It's like I think it's like 60 to 90 or something, which is extremely short. So I guess it can forward kill limb up to like 90 studs or something, or along those lines. It has pretty good reload and extremely accurate recoil, even without attachments. So I really recommend this gun, honestly. And at rank 29, we have our second revolver, the MATEBA 6. And you'd think 30,000 XP with a revolver, the arguably worst revolver, would be really bad, right? But honestly, I had a way better time with this than the Rex, because that was the first revolver we unlocked. But honestly, the MATEBA was really fun to use. It's actually so easy to spam, and its 1 kill headshot range is surprisingly far. Sure, it isn't as good as the Rex overall, but this gun is really fun and just simply works, you know? Not every weapon has to be better than the other, you know? Like, sure, the Rex is way better than the MATEBA. You know, you can still use the MATEBA because it just works. If you like the smoother recoil of the MATEBA, then you should obviously use it. But overall, I honestly had a great time with this. I really liked it. And next up at rank 30, we have the SCAR H. And the SCAR H just works. I don't know, the SCAR H has always been incredibly powerful. Sure, it has gotten this like new weird Modern Warfare recoil, but it's still 3-hit kills in close quarters and 4-hit kills at range. The SCAR H is nothing to be messed with, and you're still gonna be able to use it incredibly well. The only drawback that I really see with the SCAR H is that it has 20 bullets, and you really can't find ammo unless there's someone using an M60 or like HK21 in your server. And pretty much all battle rifles have that issue. But overall, the SCAR H worked incredibly well. And even without attachment, the SCAR H works extremely well. So I really like that gun. I give it a thumbs up. And at rank 31, we have the notorious M16A3. Arguably the best gun, or one of the best guns in the game right now, and what can I say? It's the M16A3. As a stock weapon, it worked very well. It's the M16A3, and with attachments, it worked extremely well. It's the M16A3. What can I say about it? It reloads fast, has pretty good damage, has very good recoil, can pick up ammo from assault rifles. It just works well. The thing with the M16A3 is that it's just a jack of all trades, but a master of none. It has good mobility, good recoil, good reload, whatever. It has good pretty much everything, so you just can't go wrong with this weapon. So rank 31 was a breeze. And at rank 32, we got the SCAR PDW, which is another one of those very surprising guns in my eyes. I genuinely didn't think it would work as well as it did, but it was genuinely so fun to use. Without attachments, it worked extremely well, because it's one of those weapons that have really low recoil even without attachments. So I just put on a Z-point and a suppressor until I got the angled grip, which I just put on because why not? Lower recoil, we all love that. But compared to no attachments, they work pretty similarly, because the SCAR PDW as a stock weapon just works. With a 3-hit kill torso in CQC and 5-hit kill torso at range, you can't really go wrong with it. Like, sure, it has pretty low fire rate, but it's still hyper accurate, so all you just gotta do is hit your bullets, you know? And after the SCAR PDW, we got the MG36 at rank 33. It's weird that it's unlocked at rank 33 when it has 36 in its name, but we're not gonna talk about it. So the MG36 has 100 bullets and can 4-hit kill in CQC and 5-hit kill at range, and has pretty okay recoil as a stock weapon. If you lay down, it's even more accurate. The MG36 worked extremely well, and I actually got vote kicked twice in like 10 minutes using this weapon because I was so extremely annoying. I mean, it's just an LMG and you can't really go wrong with it. 100 bullets, pretty low recoil, base damage, can pick up ammo from ARs, and its reload is quite okay for having 100 bullets compared to something like the M60 or HK21, so I definitely recommend this weapon. And at rank 34, we got the SL8 and M45A1. And this is a combo that I really like, a sniper-esque weapon with a close quarters pistol. And the SL8 worked extremely well, because I don't really see the SL8 as a DMR. I see it as a semi-automatic assault rifle. You know, like a semi-automatic AKM that is even stronger. Because personally, I feel like that's the right way to actually see it. It has 30 bullets, can pick up ammo from ARs, and has AR damage. very strong AR damage actually, and has 650 RPM, so it's extremely easy to spam click. And those stats are very similar to something like a high-powered AK or something like that. Using this weapon as an assault rifle will give you higher return, in my opinion at least. So the SL8 overall just worked extremely well. You really can't go wrong with it. All you just gotta do is tap fire everywhere and you're just gonna get kills. It's that simple. And the M45 AE1 was also extremely nice to have because you can 2-tap torso in close quarters. So when the SL8 just couldn't do it, the M45 really pulled through. And after using the weapons for a while, I reached rank 35, where I got the AKU-12, which I'm gonna use as a starter weapon in the next video. So this was episode 2 of going from rank 0 to 100. And if you enjoyed it, please subscribe, it would help a lot. Goodbye.